Board meeting. This is a 1-minute warning.
I'm not surprised it was better because we invest not through planning, we count through Denver. Just in that first lecture, it's took us 2 hours on that first
Almost 4 o'clock. So, okay. All right, it's 4 o'clock. So I'd like to call our meeting to order. This is the Fort Schuyler Management Corporation Board meeting. I'd like to welcome our directors and recognize Emily Punchala, who's here representing the Research Foundation. Emily, it's good to see you. Good to have you here. And Michael Frame, who's joining us via video conference. He's representing the SUNY Poly Foundation. I'd like not to ask any directors if they have any potential conflict of interest with respect to the items that we'll be discussing today. If so, please make an appropriate disclosure to the on the record and recuse yourself from any discussion. Who is on the phone? Did someone say something? Okay.
This is Marty Dunbar.
Oh, Marty.
Hey, Marty. Good to have you with us. Thank you for joining us. Marty is a principal at KPMG, who is our accounting firm. I'd like to first ask for a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
So moved.
Thank you. And a second?
Sure.
Thank you, Ken. I'd like to vote for a motion with the ayes and nays and abstentions on accepting the minutes as written. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Abstentions? Thank you. Okay, I'd like to ask for a motion to adopt resolution number 185, approving the annual audit of the Fort Schuyler Management Corporation financial statements for the year ending June 30th, 2018.
So moved.
Thank you, Kristen. And a second? Thank you, Robert. The bylaws of Fort Schuyler Management Corporation's financial records and accounts are to be audited annually or at such other times as directed by the Board of Directors, by a certified public accountant, or a firm thereof designated for such purpose by the Board. And the Board is required to review and approve the annual audit prior to the submission of the appropriate agency and government entities. FSMC's 2017 and 18 annual audit was conducted by KPMG, a certified independent accounting firm designated for such purposes by the Board, and a draft audit with a clean audit opinion was submitted to the Audit Committee. FSMC's Audit Committee adopted a resolution approving the 2018-2019 audit, subject to and conditional upon completion of the remaining items discussed with the Audit Committee by management and the certified independent accounting firm, to the satisfaction of the chair of the Audit Committee, and recommending that the Board approve the same actions. I'd like to ask if there's any discussion. Marty Dunbar, who is a representative from KPMG, is on the phone, and he could answer any questions that you might have. What I'd like to do is ask for a vote on the motion to adopt resolution number 185, approving the adoption of the 2017-2018 annual audit, subject to and conditional upon completion of the remaining administrative items discussed with the Audit Committee by management and the certified independent accounting firm, to the satisfaction of the chair of the Audit Committee. I'd like to ask for ayes, nays, and any abstentions to that resolution.
You want a motion first?
Motion first.
Some of those adoption.
Second, okay. All those in favor, say aye, nay, abstentions? Aye. Aye, thank you. Next is a motion for approving the engagement of an auditor to audit FSMC's financial statements and review its tax filings. I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the engagement of an auditor. Section 5 of Article 8 of FSMC's bylaws provide that the financial records and accounts of the corporation shall be audited annually or at such other times as directed by the Board of Directors by a certified public accountant or a firm thereof designated by the purpose of the Board of Directors. FSMC seeks authorization to engage KPMG to audit its financial statements and review its tax filings for the year ending June 30th, 2019. The tax filings include IRS Forms 990 and 990T and New York CHR 500 and CT 13. KPMG has performed the FSMC audit since 2013 and reviewed its tax filings since 2010. Given KPMG's work on and familiarity with FSMC's finances and tax filings, which cover the same time period, KPMG has the unique knowledge and ability to perform the needed review in thorough and expeditious manner. Accordingly, FSMC seeks to engage KPMG based on a single source justification to conduct its audit and review its tax filings for the year ending June 30th, 2019. There is no increase from the prior year in the base fee for the audit. There's a $500 increase from the prior year in the fee for review of the tax filings. The Audit Committee approved the resolution, 1, approving the engagement of KPMG to audit FSMC's financial statements and review its tax filings for the year ending June 30th, 2019, and 2, authorizing the President and/or Treasurer to take any and all actions necessary and appropriate to effectuate such action, and 3, recommending that the Board approve the foregoing actions. The requested action is to adopt a resolution approving the engagement of KPMG to audit FSMC's financial statements and review its tax filings for the year ending June 30th, 2019, and authorizing the President and/or Treasurer to take any and all actions necessary and appropriate to effectuate such actions. So I'd like to ask if there's any discussion with regard to engaging KPMG.
Just one quick question. So this is almost a year and a half after the end of the fiscal year. So for this current one, it's audit.
Has joined the meeting.
So the question is for next year, for the year ending June 30th, 2019, which is what, when is that audit expected to be completed?
The 2019 audit?
Yeah.
Marty, when is that one expected to be completed?
Consistent with what it has been in previous years, I would anticipate that to be between November and early January. So November 2019 or between November 2019 and January 2020.
All right, so it's just, this past one is the oddball out with the late approval, with the late submittal, so to speak.
The 2018.
Right.
2018, correct.
Okay, so that's good.
Any other questions or discussion?
So I do think we need a motion, in which case, so moved.
Okay, second?
Second.
And one thing to point out, and I don't know if this is something that I suppose these two items in this resolution are not numbered necessarily, so I don't know if this needs to have a number attached to it. Do you know what I mean? So we have
185.
We have resolutions 185, 186 are separate topics.
Right.
So this falls separately, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, kind of like a 185A.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like a
exactly.
185A.
So and it,
that way?
Oftentimes, for like lease amendments and things like that, we don't.
Just enter it into the record?
Numbered resolution,
Fine.
an actual formal resolution.
Okay.
I'm a physicist, I label.
Quantum?
Occasionally.
Occasionally, dabble. Okay, so we have a proposed, any comments, additional comments or questions? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any nays? Any abstentions? Okay, now I'd like to move on and turn over to our Finance Committee report to my colleague Kristen Proud, who will give us an update on Resolution 186. Can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 186?
Motion.
Approving the annual plan.
Second.
The bylaws of Fort Schuyler Management Corporation provide that there shall be submitted to the board by the president for its approval an annual plan which shall set forth all anticipated revenues and expenditures and indicate A, the current fiscal year showing approved expenditure levels, including approved changes, and estimated income and expenditures through the end of each period. B, the prior fiscal year showing actual income and expenditures for such period, and C, the next ensuing fiscal year showing estimated income and proposed expenditures for each. The 2019-2020 annual plan was submitted to the Finance Committee of the Corporation upon the recommendation of management and finance staff, and upon a motion duly made, was approved by the Finance Committee. The Finance Committee further made a recommendation that it be considered and approved by the full Board of Directors that are meeting today.
So, any comments, questions? No discussion. I'd like to ask for a vote on adopting resolution number 186, approving the annual plan. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays, abstentions? Thank you.
Father, if I might just thank the staff and Doug for the work that they did in pulling the annual plan together. We had a good discussion at the Finance Committee meeting earlier this week about the annual plan, and certainly want to take the time to acknowledge all the work that went into the development of the annual plan by the staff.
Well done, thank you. Okay, now let's move on to new business. Is there any new business to be considered at this time? And now I'd like to open it up to any public comment. We would like to provide an opportunity for public comment. Please introduce yourself and keep your comments to 2 minutes or less.
My name is John Decatur once again. I looked, it was July of 18 where it was mentioned that the New York Creates was going to be started, and we're here September 19, and I have heard nothing, and I was curious where that stands. The reason why I asked this, in your bylaws it says specifically that RFPs should occur on many events, and procurement is telling me that this is not going to occur until New York Creates is created. So I'm curious why that is happening. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Thank you for your comments, John.
Thank you.
Okay, our next meeting is to be determined. We'll let you know when that is. Before we adjourn, I'd like to thank all of our board members and committee members and teammates that have worked on these boards. These boards are volunteer positions, I remind everybody. And I thank you to your service to our state. I want to thank you for that and all the hard work that you put in being board members. Thank you for the staff. And Doug, thank you for your leadership as well. Can I have a motion to adjourn the Fort Schuyler board meeting, please?
Okay. Second.
Thank you. Okay, this meeting is officially adjourned.